Tonight on HBO pay-per-view, the boxing world will witness the return of Manny Pac-Man Pacquiao. It will be the first time Manny will be in the ring since December 8th of 2012. In that fight, we saw Manny Pacquiao blasted out in the 6th round by his arch nemesis Juan Manuel Dinamita Marquez. The 34-year-old Pacquiao is back and is facing 27-year-old come-forward Mexican-American brawler named Brandon Rios. Rios has never been knocked out and has a single loss on his professional record. This will be for the vacant WBO International Welterweight title. How will this fight play out? For this, we turn our attention to two boxing media members. First, Eliud Vasquez Torres of the BoxingPulse.net, and second, the outspoken young man who covers boxing for the BoxingTribune.com as well as the Concrete Jungle, Ruben Diaz. Eliud, we'll start with you. First, please give us your prediction for this bout.
I have Manny Pacquiao by a late round stoppage or possibly a 12-round unanimous decision. Manny has not stopped any fighter since 2009, and that was at a catchweight against Miguel Cotto. So as he moved up in weight, he has not really stopped anybody or knocked out anyone as he added his pounds. And Brandon Rios, although he is moving up to 147, he is the bigger guy, and he is the more durable fighter. And in this fight, Manny is going to have to become the counterpuncher because Brandon Rios is going to just come forward and try to make this fight a brawl into his favor. Manny hopefully learned his lesson against Juan Manuel Marquez to not walk into any punches. So therefore, he's going to probably use his jab a lot more than he has in the past and just wait for Rios to react. So that's why I made my assessment that he will probably go 12 rounds with Brandon Rios. I'm sure a lot of people are not going to go with that prediction. They're going to say that this fight's going to stop. There's no way that they're going to go 12 rounds, but if you, like I said, if you add the calculations of Rios having a good chin coming forward and Manny possibly being the counterpuncher, then that's a recipe for a 12-round fight and an entertaining one at that. So that's my prediction.
Once again, thank you, Eliud, for your insight and your thoughts. Now, Ruben Diaz, break this fight down the way you do and give us your thoughts on some of the build-up to this fight titled The Clash in Cotai.
To me, this fight is a tough fight to pick, basically because there are tons of variables. Both fighters coming off of losses. Manny Pacquiao coming off the most devastating loss of his career. He's been knocked out before, but, you know, decades ago, years ago. And never in that fashion. He body shots before, but this was Juan Manuel Marquez placing a perfect shot to Manny's face as he was coming in. Just completely devastating knockout, you know, for the highlight reel. So we don't know how Manny is going to react to coming off of a loss like that. You know, will he react to Rios' power in the same way? Will he want to engage in the same way? You know, will he be more cautious to exchange and being hit? Those are huge questions for me. But as history goes, most fighters that get knocked out like that, they don't come back quite the same as they ever were, ever really returned to the same form they were prior to that devastating knockout. We have also Brandon Rios coming off the first loss of his career, a 12-round unanimous decision loss to Mike Alvarado, who in the first fight between them two, that was a rematch, the first fight between them two, Rios won by TKO. Rios is also moving up to 147 pounds. And that'll be his first time there. Manny has fought there, but he's really not a huge welterweight at all, you know. So we'll see how Rios carries his power and his chin up to 147. And I just think this is the wrong fight for Manny Pacquiao. Not just, I mean, style wise, Rios is perfect to make an entertaining fight with and against Pacquiao. However, um, after a knockout loss, which Pacquiao suffered in his last fight, this is a very dangerous fight. Much more dangerous fight than I think his handlers and matchmakers picked for him. And I think Rios is a very live dog, and a few other things. The fights in Macau, China. I mean, they're saying tax purposes and blah blah blah, but I don't buy that. I just think it was for other reasons, but the fight's going down there. Um, Another huge thing that happened this week was the altercation between Manny Pacquiao's trainer Freddie Roach walking up on Brandon Rios' trainer Robert Garcia at a gym there in China, and it was a huge ordeal, and a lot of stuff was said in between. Alex Ariza, who is now, well, he's former Pacquiao strength and conditioning coach, now Brandon Rios' strength and conditioning coach, kicked Freddie Roach in the chest, and just the whole video and all the footage that was captured then. I mean, it's just a huge ordeal. I will keep mums a word on that, on my opinion. But I think that only added on to the fight. These are camps that obviously don't like each other. There's genuine distaste for the other camp, and vice versa. And I don't know. This is I think a better fight than most people are giving it credit for. Both comeback fights. Manny has a strength in speed and arguably power. And he's been at this level before. It's nothing new to him, but he's coming off the most devastating loss of his career. On the flip side, you have Brandon Rios, who has nothing but the world to gain if he is able to beat Pacquiao, overseas and on Pacquiao's terms. I mean, as far as the terms go, more than anything, this was Pacquiao's fight to win. And I just think if Rios is focused and is on weight and can carry his power, then he presents far more problems legitimately for Pacquiao and his team come Saturday night than they ever imagined. And all that being said, may the best man win, but I have Brandon Rios by TKO in 8 rounds.
Do you agree or disagree with this prediction? Let us know in the comment section below. And remember, stay first, follow the jungle.